Almost every sexual struggle men face comes down to believing one of 7 fundamental lies. These aren't small misconceptions. These are deep-held beliefs that are totally killing your sex life, your confidence, and your romantic relationships. And here's the kicker. You probably don't even realize that you believe them. So whether you're single and struggling to connect with women, or you're in a relationship but are feeling sexually frustrated in some way, chances are that at least 2 or 3 of these lies are running your life right now. But here's the good news. Once you see these lies for what they are, everything will change. Your confidence can skyrocket. Your sexual experiences are going to become more connected, deeper, and more satisfying. And the women in your life, they'll respond to you in ways that you never imagined. So if you are ready to stop sabotaging yourself and start experiencing the sexual mastery that you deserve, stick around, because what you're about to learn is going to change your intimate life. Welcome back to The Naked Connection. This is the show for driven men to reach sexual mastery and build deep connections. I'm Kirsten, and today is a very, very special day. You guys, we are celebrating 2 full years of this show, which just blows my mind that we've been doing this together for the past 2 years. And before we get into celebration mode, we are going to talk about these 7 lies. And really, these are things that I have come to witness and gather and understand over the past 2 years. So I wanted to really compile things together here for you today, because if you're new to this show, this episode will give you everything that you need to know about what's really been holding you back. And if you've been here for a while, this is going to crystallize everything that we've been working on together. So you guys, let's get some. Let's be honest. You want to be that man. The man that she can't stop replaying in her mind. The man who makes her breath catch, who leaves her dripping with anticipation, who has her begging for more before you're even touching her. Here's the thing. Great lovers, they aren't born. They are built through skill, through presence, and through deep confidence that radiates in and out of the bedroom. That is exactly what my legendary lover training gives you. This isn't a list of bedroom hacks. It is a rewiring of who you are as a man, how you carry yourself, how you own your sexual desires, how you step into sex with complete freedom and clarity. In the legendary lover training, you will learn practices that expand your confidence, sharpen your focus, and ground you so deeply that she feels it in every touch, in every look, and in every breath. Because when you master yourself, she feels it. And that is what makes you unforgettable in bed. I have led countless men through this training and through these practices, and they have walked out completely changed, more confident, more commanding, and more sexually magnetic. And right now, because I'm launching this for the first time, you are going to get in at a discount that I will never run again. So head on over to thenakedconnection.com/lover, LOVER, before this discount disappears. Don't just be good in bed. Be legendary. All right, lie number 1. If I learn all the right moves, I'll be a great lover. This one is everywhere. Guys get obsessed with technique. How to move your fingers, how to last longer, what position hits the right angle. It's like you're trying to become a human sex manual. And I get it. Technique feels safe. It's measurable. It gives you something to do, something to put your energy and your focus on. But great sex isn't about memorizing steps. It's not a checklist. It's ultimately about presence. I have heard so many women say, he did all the right things, but I felt like he wasn't even there. Like having sex with a very polite robot. And here's the thing. Yes, 100% technique matters, but it's maybe 20% of the equation. The other 80% is connection. It's curiosity. It's reading her energy, being tuned in and tuned on by her specifically. And when your technique serves the moment instead of trying to control it, that is when sex becomes unforgettable. Lie number 2, I have to be more alpha to get women. Most guys think that they need to be more dominant, more mysterious, more detached, whatever the internet or some dating coach told you to be in order to get women. And I have seen guys force themselves to act cocky when they're actually really thoughtful, to pretend that they don't care when they're deeply invested, to play that like bad boy when they're genuinely a kind person. And I imagine for you it's exhausting, and I imagine that it's not working. Here's the truth. Your edge doesn't come from acting like someone else. It actually comes from owning who you already are. Your weird quirks, your depth, your way of seeing the world, that is what makes you magnetic. And the fact that you are totally comfortable in yourself. Someone who is truly who they are and so comfortable with who that person is, those are the people that suck people in towards them. And if any of you remember the movie Hitch, I think this is a perfect example. If you haven't seen it, watch the trailer and you'll understand. But there's this quirky guy in the movie, and he gets this amazing, beautiful woman to fall in love with him. Not because of the techniques and like the persona that his matchmaker, who happens to be Will Smith, teaches him to be, but because of the reality of who he really was. You know, in the movie, he's like using his inhaler and he's dancing goofy and he like spilled food on himself. And in the movie, that was what she loved and what made her desire him more. It was the quirkiness, the uniqueness, the trueness of who he was. There was a recent study done that found that authenticity is the number one emotion that people connect with the most. Women aren't turned on by perfect impressions of masculinity alone. Women are drawn to presence, to realness, to embodied confidence. And that does not come from pretending to be something that you aren't. When you stop performing and actually show up as yourself, that is when the right woman will take notice of you. Lie number 3 is, if I can't make her come, I am not a real man. So many guys tie their entire sense of worth and their entire sense of really being a sexual being to whether or not they can make a woman orgasm during sex. They treat every sexual experience like a pass or fail test of their manhood. Here's what happens. The more pressure that you put on yourself to perform, the less you can actually connect. She's going to feel that anxiety, and then she starts worrying about your ego instead of her pleasure. And nobody enjoys that. And this is oftentimes where like women will fake it because they're like, oh, if I don't give him this, he's going to feel like shit about himself. Not a place that you want to be. Not a place that she wants to be. No one wants to be there. And here's the thing is that your value is not measured in orgasms or hardness or how long you last. You are a man, not a machine. And when you stop trying to prove something in bed and start paying attention, really being there with her, everything can shift. Ironically, she's way more likely to orgasm when you're not making it about you. So let go of that pressure. Show up with presence. That's what great lovers do. Lie number 4, women just don't want sex as much as guys do. You've probably believed this since high school. Guys are just hornier than girls. And because of that belief, maybe you've lowered your bar. Maybe you stopped trying to turn her on in a meaningful way. Maybe you assume she's just not that sexual, right? But here's what I can tell you from real experience is that most women are wildly sexual. They're just turned on differently than you do. Her arousal likely isn't this quick visual stimulation. It's contextual. It's emotional. She needs to feel safe, seen, and wanted in a specific way. And when you understand her turn on, not yours projected onto her, you can unlock an entire dimension of sexual intensity. So I've seen women go from, I'm just not that into sex, to, I can't get enough of this, when a man begins to understand how to meet them in their, not force them into his. A lot of this comes down to spontaneous versus responsive arousal. So if this is hitting a mark for you, look into that a little bit. I have some incredible episodes from the past, basically on every single one of these lies. But go ahead and feed through that and look at arousal differences and sexual desire differences, because there's a lot within that for you. It's not that she doesn't want sex. Most women are actually quite sexual. It's that the type of sex or the way that sex is being introduced or invited or put on the table isn't meeting her where she's at. Lie number 5 is, if I were confident, I wouldn't feel this insecure. Often we assume that confident men never second guess themselves. That if you were really good in bed, that you would never feel nervous, that you'd always know exactly what to do. So when you feel uncertain, especially with a new partner, you pretend. You perform confidence that you don't really feel. But the truth is, real confidence can coexist with uncertainty. The men who are amazing in bed, they're not perfect. They're present. They ask questions. They stay curious. They say things like, show me what you like. And you know what? Women love that, because it means that you care. And it means that the confidence that you do show is true and real. It's not armor. Pretending kills connection. Curiosity, that builds it. Lie number 6 is, I should always be horny, and if not, there is something wrong with me. Many of you have been sold some kind of idea that real men are supposed to want sex all the time, that you should be able to get hard instantly, on command, no matter what's happening in your life. So when your desire drops, or maybe your erection doesn't show up, you panic. You're like, who am I? What am I? What's wrong? You think something's wrong with you, right? But the truth is that your sexuality also has rhythms. It has seasons. It has natural waves. And like your partner's, stress, lack of sleep, relationship tension, hormones, life, medication, all of that impacts your desire. So when you stop judging your sexual energy and start listening to it, everything works smoother. You can stop forcing it. You can start flowing it. And that confidence that we just talked about, that confidence is going to rise, my friend, just like your erection probably is. And lie number 7, if I told her what I'm into, she would freak out. You have turn-ons. You have fantasies. You have desires. You've probably never told anyone about some of these things too. Not because they're bad, but because you're afraid that you'll be judged, rejected, or shamed. So you hide, you stay silent, you play it safe in bed, and even if the sex is good enough, you feel unsatisfied and perhaps even really kind of alone. I think most people, most women are often more open than you think. If you bring your desire to the table with care, with honesty, and with connection, and using a lot of the communication skills we've been practicing over the last few years, it will be received differently than you think. And maybe, yes, maybe you will get rejected, but maybe the rejection is contextual. Maybe it's like, not right now, or like, I would be into doing some of that, but not all of it. Or what if we tweaked it a little bit? I would be into that. Or, hey, that's a no for me, and I still love you. And I really appreciate that you shared that with me. The options become more possible when you learn how to communicate them. And also it's that element of like, would you rather spend your time not being truthful and being loved for something that you're not, compared to being honest and yes, taking a risk that you might lose somebody or someone might look at you a little bit differently, but that's who you really are. That's the truth of you. I think you might be shocked by the responses that you might get. how, well, someone might say yes. Sometimes even with relief because you shared something, they probably have been hiding things too. And maybe they would bring that to you in return. When you own your sexual truth with integrity, you stop having sex that feels fake and you start having sex that actually feeds you. Okay, so there you are. Those are the 7 lies that have been sabotaging your sex life, likely for generations. And guys, after 2 years of this show where thousands of you turn in every single week, I can tell you this. The men who break free from lies don't just have better sex, they have better lives. And I know we just very, very briefly touched on these 7 lies, but there is so much more depth and content and context on each of them that has really been shown in the last 2 years of episodes here on the channel. So if you are curious about one, go ahead and do a search. Look for a topic that we just talked about and dive into another episode that goes more detailed in depth on it. It is so hard to believe that it has been 2 years since I started The Naked Connection with you. When I launched the show, I had no idea it would grow into this incredible space for men committed to sexual mastery and deep connections. I will be honest, when I first started this, I was really nervous. Here I am, a woman talking to men about their intimate struggles. I wondered if you would trust me, if this would work. Would I get shadow banned daily from the internet? Like, so many fears were coming up, but what really happened has blown my mind. You showed up, you tuned in, you listened, and not only that, but you have applied what you've learned here. You shared your victories and your setbacks with me, and you created this space where truth and growth aren't just accepted, but they're celebrated. Over these past few years, we have covered so many things, from lasting longer in bed to looking at masculine archetypes. We've talked about seduction with integrity, about supporting making a woman feel safe so that she can open sexually to you. We've talked about understanding female arousal on deeper levels and like so much more that doesn't even scratch the surface. But you know what the real magic has been? For me, at least, it has been witnessing the transformation. I get messages from listeners who have gone from feeling sexually insecure to becoming confident lovers, men who have saved their marriages by applying what they've learned here. You know, I've connected with single guys who have shared that they have attracted their dream partners by becoming more authentically themselves. And as someone who forces herself to get out of bed at 6 a.m., with a beautiful cup of coffee in my hand, preparing to help men navigate their most intimate challenges, I can tell you that this work never gets old because you never stop surprising me with your courage to grow. And as we head into year 3, I am more excited than ever about what we're building together. We're not just changing individual sex lives, we are changing how men show up in the world. We are creating a collective of men who understand the true masculine power comes from authenticity, not performance, that real confidence includes being honest and truthful, that great lovers are made through curiosity and care, not just technique alone. And I mean, I think that there can be vanity metrics that show up in success. And yes, you guys, the show is in the top 20 in sex on Spotify. We are like climbing the rankings. We have incredible downloads. Like, it's just wild what has been happening here in this corner of the world together. But I think that who you are becoming and what you are taking out into the world is so important. Part of the reason why I got into this work and have wanted to become a therapist and a tantric coach and a podcast host is because I have this vision. Imagine if every single person that you know and experience today had had the best sex of their life this morning or last night. They had this incredible sex with this person that they are so drawn to and connected to and love. in whatever way that looks like. If it's long-term relationship, short, who cares? They had epic sex. It was wild and crazy and took them to a new place, and they had all of this pleasure and all of this connection. And if every single person that you interacted with today had that, what do you think the world would look like? Like, how do you think every single one of these people would be engaging with you? Because when I start to think about that, I really, truly do believe that healthy sex lives and deep connections can change the world. So, thank you for 2 incredible years. Thank you for trusting me with your most intimate struggles and victories. Thank you for being the kind of men who care enough to grow, to learn, to become better lovers and partners. I really believe that the world needs more men like you. Men who understand that sexual mastery isn't about conquest, it's about connection. Men who know that true strength includes gentleness, that real confidence includes humility. So, here is to year 3 and all of the incredible transformations that are still to come. Until next time, this is Kirsten, and let's get some. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of The Naked Connection. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode. Trust me on this, your sex life and that special someone in your life will thank you for it. And if you really love the show, please take a moment and leave a 5-star review or a written review and let me know what you think. It would mean so much to me and this show. Until next time, happy connecting.